call this meeting to order. This is a special called meeting of the Commissioners Court. It's Monday, September the 18th. We're at 2 p.m. We had one earlier today starting at 10 p.m. So we're going to do away with the invocation, the pledge, allegiance, and pledge to Texas here, and consider the business to be discussed. We got Becky Kidd. Yes, Miss Kidd.
Okay, so I did not print out a bunch of new information. I have it right here and can explain it relatively simply. I talked to Kevin, we did the jail changes, possible changes again. We agreed we're not going to make any changes there. That would reduce some of the salaries that are already there. There's no need for that. Patrol would increase by about 30,000. Again, that's not a problem at all. That's very manageable. The other departments that changes in district clerk, purchasing, county attorney, constable 1, 3, and 4, and IT, that total change without benefits was about 9,000 less. So we're still, again, none of this is going to affect your tax rate. So, and then I was looking at what you were talking about, and again, there are two different focus points when you're doing budgets. You look at where is your money that you budgeted for the general fund last year, and where do you want it to be? So last year we budgeted $24,965,000. At the tax rate that Kevin wants to propose, 0.282677, that revenue will be $25,676,600. That's a difference, a very small difference of $711,000 between the 2 years. Now, if you look at the form from the state of Texas that you would utilize, the difference between the no new revenue tax rate at 0.282622 and 287,622, 282,622, that drop is $451,000. That's per their form. So yes, it gets confusing, but that's what I have to go by. So again, the tax rate Kevin has proposed, we can work within that, and it will be fine. There's minor changes here, and I'm fine with whatever you tell me to do, but I'm hoping Kevin is agreeable to leave the jail matrix the way I had it alone, so that, because we do need to get some more jailers in there. We're down 5.
So could you go, you said there were changes in constable?
Yes, you had me talk to me about part-time and then increase one salary.
Okay.
Can you say that that's still doable with that
Yes, sir.
last proposal?
Well, I have the last one. I didn't print all it out because all you need is one to sign. But yes, 0.282622, I can live with that.
What? You said point
0.282622, which is a half a cent less than the new revenue tax rate.
I know you probably didn't have time to.
I did review some of those. The only one I would change would possibly be environmental health. I don't want to over-anticipate any general fund revenue. I would rather be under and get more than be over and not collect.
It just changed from a budget we had a week or two ago to the current budget. It dropped, so I just didn't know what the explanation was for the drop.
Financial information, and I'm a little concerned with where things are going. So I would like to be conservative for the county.
So are you saying you will change the environmental health number? Or?
Yes, I can. Again, this tax rate doesn't have an effect, or a very small effect on any of this.
Can you repeat that tax rate?
I don't know what I said.
What was that? I'm sorry.
I'm not even sure what I just said.
0.282622.
Oh, the tax rate, the no new revenue tax rate that we receive from the appraisal district is 0.287622. The rate proposed at this exact moment is 0.282622.
what you said.
Yeah, half cent off the voting revenue. That's good.
And the other, just minor changes that well, I don't know if they're changes, they're just questions that I had on that 068 fund. It just looked like there was.
That's records management, and whatever's left goes in fund balance. It's a completely separate fund. Those are not even something I'm worried about, because there's no more salary in there.
Right.
It's not budgeted as salary in it.
That's why I wondered why there was health insurance
Well,
and,
because they were paying her salary out of Fund 68 for this year.
but in
I
next year's
don't
budget.
see it in there for next year.
It's in the budget that we currently have. There's those two numbers that I sent you are still,
I'll take them out if they're in there.
yeah, that's what I thought.
I just seen
I
them a
just-
little earlier.
It just looked like when you moved the salary, it didn't move those other two, the education and the health insurance, because the retirement was down to zero because there's no salary.
Education, I don't know that I would change, because if Katie wants to do any type of training, I would like her to have that line.
Who, I'm saying?
If Katie needs training, if she wants to do any training out of records management.
Oh, it didn't come out of her county
Sufficient money.
clerk budget?
She can take training out of there if she chooses to. There's a healthy fund balance and a cash balance, so you have to kind of
Okay.
budget somewhat.
If
You can't
that's
do
what
zero.
the clerk wants, then I just said the health insurance shouldn't be there if there's no salary there. Okay.
All right, back to the jail, we do need that, one of those transport positions to be.
I fixed that.
You got that? Okay.
Yes.
All right, just making sure you get on that.
Yes, sir. Any other questions? Thank you.
Thank you. We do have a couple of speakers, Mr. Richard House. I remember one.
Good afternoon, Judge and Commissioners. My name is Richard Hafs. I'm fortunate to live here in the city of Granbury in the great county of Hood. I want to say thank you. Thank you for the hard work you've done preparing this budget. It has been a long journey. You've spent countless hours working with the department heads and looking at every number. And I see a budget that is responsible, fiscally prudent, and solid, and safe for the citizens of the county. I see proposed tax rates that, as a taxpayer, make me very happy. I see fiscal conservatism. I see responsibility, but I also see the right degree of caution to protect us from the unknown that is undoubtedly going to happen in the coming year. There's a saying in the world that I like to follow, says, don't let perfect be the enemy of good. And I think that this budget is not just good, I think it's very good. And I think you ought to be commended for the wonderful job you've done, as is Ms. Kidd and the department heads who've worked for so many months to get us to this point. I look at the proposed tax rates, and any one of them, as a taxpayer and citizen, would make me happy. I of course, prefer Commissioner Andrews' proposed rate because I'm me. I don't have to spend money, as I'm sure none of us do. But it's responsible, it's prudent, it's sound. I believe now is the time to move on, pass the budget, pass the tax rate, let the department heads run their departments as they do well, so you guys can focus on the other great challenges facing our county. You do have work ahead of you that's beyond the budget, and I'll support you in that as well. But this really is a time to pass the budget with the thanks of myself and I'm sure many other citizens. Thank you.
Okay, and Ms. Mercer, and
I'm good.
you good?
I'm good.
Okay, so we want to consider the proposed tax increase that Mr. Andrews has proposed, the 0.287622.
262, yes, sir.
Repeat that?
Yeah, 282622. 0.282622. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
Becky, do you have the document we could look at before we vote, please?
Well, let me go over that too, sorry. This tax rate If your home is valued at $200,000, you would see an average decrease of $97. If your home was valued at $330,687, you would see a decrease of $73. Is that what you're looking for?
I just want to read the document before I vote on it.
Y'all can make copies.
I mean, I would like it, I don't know about the rest of it.
About the rest of it.
None of this is there. As you look at A, B, and C, you start off, let's start off with C, which would be a $907,339 difference, then $632,578, $528,787, and then this last rate, $0.282622, would be about $451,000 in revenue. As per the form and the tax levy information.
How much is the revenue again? What? Or what?
For this one, it would be around 451,000, as opposed to the 528,787, and that difference is 1.8 instead of 2.1 on the rate of 282,622.
1,282,622. So that's what we're voting on right now. That's the motion.
Lord, I hope so.
Is there a second to this?
She's going to give us the document.
Did somebody make it, somebody made that motion?
Not yet. I haven't heard it.
Yeah, I will make that motion.
Well, this document's not correct. It has, which effectively a 3.5% increase. So.
Yeah, you got the wrong one. There's 400 floating around here.
It's supposed to be 1.8%.
Mhm. I mean, if you just want to change it and initial it.
Yes, please, would you change that to 1.8?
So with that, I'll make a motion that we adopt the tax rate of 0.282622.
Second. Get a motion been made by Commissioner Andrews to adopt the tax rate of 0.282,622 per $100 valuation.
Time. We have to do this in order, and it has to be a record vote on these three items. Now, you don't have to pass the matrix today. I think Kevin and I have a little more work on that, but to adopt this tax rate, it needs to be a record vote that you're agreeing to the proposed tax revenue increase. Not worried about the tax rate just yet. Okay, that's the first item of business.
So just
And
read
take a
from,
record vote, please.
so just read
You mean, you
from
gotta start off with section 1 here by
Yes.
saying that
Consider.
point.
No tax rate, just consider the proposed increase in tax revenue of the proposed 2024 budget. That's the order.
which is 451, what? Do we need to have the exact number?
No, it's just you're agreeing that there is a tax increase,
Of 1.8%.
1.8%.
Okay, so how do I need to word this motion?
You make a motion
Okay.
to approve the proposed increase in tax revenue of approximately $451,000.
So
I will make the motion that we increase the revenue approximately 451,000.
at a rate of,
I will second that.
You don't do the rate yet.
I mean, that the one, which increases 1.8%.
1.8%.
We're going to take a record vote. Each of you vote.
Okay. Let's just raise our hand.
Well,
Okay.
could we restate it, please? Could you restate that, please?
Yeah, to make a motion to increase revenue approximately 451,000, 1.8%.
Second.
I will second his motion.
Yeah.
So, I say aye. Record vote.
Vote aye. Aye.
Aye.
I gotta vote nay.
I'm sorry?
Nay.
Motion passes 4-1. What's the next motion?
The next motion is to approve the budget that has had many changes, including ones that will occur today, to get to the tax rate that we want to have.
All right, so I think that we need to give Becky some time to work through these changes,
I've already worked through them.
and so that we can see them. I would like to do that. Again, I don't like to vote on something that I haven't seen in black and white, so.
Okay, how about a tax rate? Number 3. Well, you've got to do this in order, so I guess we table everything else till tomorrow.
Well, no, we gotta make a motion first. Make a motion that we give Becky time to produce the budget that's going to be changed. As she just said, she's got to still make changes, so I don't see the purpose of voting on something that still is going to have changes. That doesn't sound right to me. So I would like to give Becky some time to change it and produce a new budget that we can look at and vote on. So I would motion that we table this until tomorrow morning.
Becky, can you have this by 10 o'clock in the morning?
Yes, sir.
Can you have it by 10 o'clock?
Yes, sir.
Okay. We do have 2 speakers that I want to hear before we do vote on this. The first one is Tina Brown, and then Ms. Mercer, your second.
I happen to agree with Nanette. I'd like to see all the changes too. Is that going to be possible for the public to see the changes before 10 o'clock in the morning?
Unless I put it online again.
Okay.
And again, these changes are minute. They are less than $40,000. They truly are. And I've already updated all my spreadsheets. All I needed to do was clarify with Kevin, what are we gonna do with the jail salaries? Those are already in place. I don't have to change those. So these are just minute changes.
Oh, I understand, but if they're going to have something to look at, I want to know if I have something to look at, and every other citizen who might be interested.
I will put it online as quick as I can get it done. But again, you're gonna have a hard time finding them, honestly. They're that small.
You should highlight them so we can see every time they're changing. You know, first change is yellow, second change is blue, the third time it's been changed is pink, because how many times have they been changed? But yeah,
I don't have that many
Not enough,
colors.
there's not enough colors in the rainbow.
I don't have enough colors.
Okay.
this morning. I mean, that's it, that's the only changes that.
No, there's probably been a lot of changes that I have not seen since the last time I requested.
But I'm just saying,
so-
the changes that we're talking about is exactly what was discussed this morning. So there should not be any real, room for, we gotta look at it again. I had that time to
Oh,
look at it.
I'm sure you're right, I don't have what you're looking at
True.
today. I have what I got a week ago.
And what she just said was it's minimal, amount.
Yeah,
I'll post it.
okay, thank you.
Okay, Ms. Mercer?
Afternoon. Well, we're all here and we're all exhausted. Because everybody's been doing this, looking at it, thinking about it since March. This is September. I personally think you should vote on it today. You have a subject matter expert who has jumped through hoops to make all of you feel good about what you've done. And she has said the changes are minuscule. You already know what's going to happen because you looked at it in executive session. And now here we are to come back yet one more day, spend more money when you could go ahead and do this today because there's simply no way you've got someone who can't do her job because she's done it for 25 years. So no, I don't agree. I'm tired of you wasting county time, and I'm really tired of you wasting county money. You should vote on this and put it to bed because there is business in this county that needs to be attended to, and you're not doing it because you're micromanaging all this stuff. I mean, I've heard you talk about departments sharing Xerox machines to save pennies. So I personally don't understand why you're not doing your job and voting today.
Amen.
Are you taking any additional speakers, Judge?
No, you didn't sign up.
So, as someone mentioned to me just over lunch, county commissioner just happened to call me from another county and said, this is the most important thing that we do as commissioners. So I'm not taking it lightly. I would like to see the changes because sometimes there have been changes that have been made that weren't discussed when we were out here in public, and sometimes there's a reason, but sometimes it might have been a mistake. So let's just make sure that, like I said, I am not going to vote on something that I haven't seen. I'm not going to pass it before I read it. So I'm going to see the documents and make sure that I'm comfortable with them. This is just me. So I'm not going to vote on something that I haven't seen. And I hold that as a responsibility to the people of Hood County that I understand what I'm voting on.
So, can I ask you one question, Annette? Who is this other county commissioner who's calling you and giving you this information? What county?
Did you talk into the mic, please?
Okay, sorry.
Did she
Well,
sign
I
up?
got something for
You
you.
signed up.
I know I did, I just thought you were correcting me, I'm sorry. So, I
Well, wait a minute. Speaking.
I'm sorry, Nanette, I'm sorry to you as well. I thought you were just correcting me. I don't mean this disrespectfully, but I've sat in this courtroom and I've heard you say, well, here's this person who's only been doing this for 25 years, but I went ahead and got 2 other people from 2 other counties who hold her position, who don't really know anything about Hood County, because I wanted a second opinion. And now here we are. You made all these changes in executive session. I watched this person again jump through hoops. It's astonishing to me. Because I've actually worked on the budget myself. Not just in my own small, tiny little business, but I was actually part of a team for AT&T. And what has gone on here from March to September that you guys can't manage to get this together is nothing short of irresponsible. We need to be talking about widening 377. There's transportation money available. And instead, you're talking about less than $40,000 because you want to micromanage and double check in case there's a mistake. So I get that you want to do your job. That's wonderful. I applaud you for that. However, with that said, this is done. This should have been put to bed long ago, and you already have someone who's doing the job. So I don't understand. And I do find it irresponsible because when you languish over this budget for months and months and months and months, all the things that this county needs are languishing on the side. There is transportation money from the Fed available. You could be talking to your grant writers and widening 377, so when I go get my groceries on Saturday morning, I don't spend 45 minutes driving in. You have a subject matter expert who does the job and does it well and has changed this numerous times for every little whim that you guys have. Every time somebody in a department runs over and changes something, you guys do it. Now, I don't know a great deal. I mean, I'm not, it's not like Miss Kidd and I are just super big buddies, but I know enough that I have asked her questions and she has answered them. So I already know that she's very intelligent. I do not understand this. It is a complete waste of my time, and it should be a waste of yours. So are you going to be able to tell me this other county? Because I know a lot of people in these other counties. I've got family in quite a bit of them. I'd like to know that name.
As a commissioner in another county, I don't know why it makes any difference, but,
Yeah, okay, that's what I thought. Thank you.
I mean, if you want his phone number, I can give it to you afterwards.
Well, you can just give me the name, because I'll probably be called, hey, remember, get his phone number.
So I want to put a little correction in here. We didn't start on this budget till June, as
That's
far
right.
as having hearings.
Right.
We started in June, number one. Number two, I applaud a fellow commissioner reaching out to other commissioners in other counties, which Ms. Samuelson is a new commissioner, and we are advised when we go to our first commissioner school to reach out outside the county and talk to other commissioners because it's too close to home to talk here. So, in defense of Ms. Samuelson, I think she should be applauded for trying to get this right. This is one of the most important things that we do each year. Is if you don't like coming to sitting through these, you don't have to come.
Oh, I'm going to be here.
Well, that's fine, but what I'm saying, it's if you don't want to come, you don't have to.
But we all
We're the ones that are voting on this, not you.
We all have opinions.
So we're going to have talk back from the audience while I'm trying to talk here. But the bottom line is this. Ms. Samuelson was elected to her spot. She is doing the job that she feels like she needs to do. And if you don't like it, go run for office and change it. That's what we do in America. We run for office if we don't like what we see, and we get elected and we go try to make change and be change agents.
And be sure that we're all going to try to do
That's
this.
all
So
right. Yep.
Yes, just to go by the timeline again, everyone got a letter and said their budget would be due May 31st. So we did not start working on this in March. Everyone turned in their budget.
It wasn't due May 31st.
Mhm.
It wasn't due May 31st. It was due much earlier than that.
That's what the letter said, is to
I didn't
turn.
The words don't mean nothing that we got all sent. We didn't even start working on the budget until June as far as having hearings here. And you're saying it goes back to March, February. Let's keep going backwards. We've been working on it all year with that argument.
Dave, don't get emotional. Things got sent out the first part of May. I sent them out. I don't know what you got in that.
The letter,
Two different, sorry, Katie.
the letter that went
You
out
got
to
budget
everyone.
information from the judge's office, and then I sent one out with the budget, the first part of May, trying to get it back quickly. And that's all I remember. But I just want to get this put to bed, so I'm going to go work on it.
Thank you, Becky. And again, thank you for going through all the gyrations that you've been going through. I just want to give you time to get the final changes in so that we can all see it and know what we're voting on and not vote on it before we see it.
Okay?
Well, let's take the vote. And Mrs. Samuelson doesn't make the decisions here. This commissioner's court votes as a, all of us have to make the decision. So your motion is to table everything until Becky gets.
Well, I thought we'd already passed that.
We didn't pass it. We didn't vote on it.
Was there a motion on the table?
There was a motion by Commissioner Samuelson, there was no second, so
I'll second that.
Got a motion made by Commissioner Samuelson to table the rest of the tax agenda until tomorrow at 10 a.m., seconded by Commissioner Andrews. All those in agreement say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Nay!
A little bit louder doesn't make any difference.
Okay.
That was worth 3 votes.
All right. Motion passes 3-2. See you in the morning at 10 o'clock.